Y'all rocking with lazone to John. We get ready to get this show started. I got a couple special guests tonight chopping it up with us. I got RonDike out of Mount Vernon, New
Yo,
York, and from Harlem.
yo,
All right, all right. And I got my coach,
we out here, y'all. We out here, y'all.
Coco, in the place to
Hey
be.
everybody, how y'all doing?
You know what I mean? We're gonna
So,
chop it up. We get ready to take y'all back. We get ready to take y'all back on some history on hip hop, man, for back in the days, man. Give y'all some foundation of where this thing came from people that was part of it. You know what I mean? They was in the part of the making of this, rapping and the gangs into the street, the music, the drugs, all that. These people had experience in this thing, and they want to pass on some of this knowledge to y'all, so you know a little bit about this thing. That when you see it, you'll understand the nature and how this thing was nurtured to become what it is. So right now, you know what I'm saying. We're gonna let RonDike go ahead and take the stand and explain a little something to you. Let them know something about you, RonDike.
Yo, what's up, y'all? What's up, everybody? You know what I mean? I love it. I ain't gonna lie. Keep it real with you, Ron. Yo, I love it because just think about being from that first, well, brother, being from that first generation of poor black and Hispanic, blacks and Puerto Ricans that just came up because we was too poor. I grew up in Harlem and then I moved to Mount Vernon. Then I moved back. I'm back in the Bronx. So here it is where we was too poor. So we love music. That's our nature. We love music. We grew up listening to Earth, Wind and Fire, the Commodores, the Isley Brothers, the OJs. You know how they go. We grew up listening to all that, and so
Rick James.
And we know, but a lot of us was poor. Our parents ain't had no money for.
Hey, stand in one place.
This kind of lessons and all that and all that. A lot of us we ain't had it.
RonDike. When you stand in a good location, because I think when you're walking around.
I just came and stood back at the window. You can hear me better now?
Yeah, I can hear you, Big Daddy. He's all the way out of state somewhere else. We got people calling in. These are people who getting these interviews in between time. You know what I mean? Go ahead, RonDike. Do what you do.
All right. So what it was a lot of parents were single parents or whatever, single moms or whatever. And that ain't my case, but a lot of my friends, it was a single moms with 2 and 3 kids. You know what I mean? So they didn't have no money to be buying instruments and all that. So dudes literally took their turntables, the parents' turntables, used to be wooden turntables, and they learned how to make the record sound more different. So it'd be a record playing, and they'd take it and go, and they're like, oh, look what he's doing. That right there started.
That was hip hop.
And then they started doing that. And dudes was going crazy over, look at you making it sound like a different record and all that. So dudes started getting nice doing it and start bringing it direct.
So how was they doing it? How was they breaking it down? How was they breaking it down? How was what they was using to change the music and stuff at that time? I know, but you talking to people that might not know.
So you saying that's what I'm saying. They took the records, instead of letting the record just keep playing, they get a certain part of the record when it hits to a certain beat, and they would take the record. That's when they had the big records, the round records that turn around. Dudes ain't have all the stuff they got now. It was a record.
What was that?
It was album records.
35?
And they would take it
45?
and take it and stop it and go backwards and forwards with that. And that's when they started calling it scratching. So instead of letting the record keep playing, they just take it and they going backwards and forwards with it, with their hand. So you scratching up the record, but it make the record sound like a whole different thing. So people was going crazy like, yo, look what they doing. So that's how that's the beginning of hip hop. Just because the DJ started doing that, or people, it wasn't even the DJ back then. It was just kids doing it to their moms and them records.
What made you? So what made you get into it? So what made you get into hip hop, man? What got you interested in hip hop? What was you doing?
Because
and you gotta break it in. You gotta tell them how to hear. You gotta let them know. You gotta let them know what you know. You explain. They don't know what era this was. You gotta tell them what era. When was
this was okay. I'm gonna tell you, this was back in 75, 1975, bro. And I was 12 years old. I was born in 63. So this is 1975. When we listen to Funkadelic and all that kind of stuff. And so this is something. So what was so exciting about it was, it started with they taking the record and scratching it back and forth until you didn't even want to hear the whole record no more. You just wanted the DJs to do this. So now dudes started sneaking. Yo, and it used to be like this. Y'all feel like jamming? Y'all feel like rocking the house? And niggas would go, and dudes would go, yeah. So what that mean was, everybody that got a nice turntable in their house and their moms ain't home, go sneak your joint out. We need 2 turntables. And we need a mix board and plug them up to, and then your mom's got 2 big speakers. Y'all help them sneak that out. And then, so now we'll put all these stuff together. Then the dudes that's good with electronics, they know how to hook it up, but we all sneaking something from out of our cribs. Yo, your mom's got that record, what's the name? And your mom's got it too, so you'll go sneak it out. So now we sneak and we put the system together.
That's hard.
You didn't need a permit to throw a block party when we lived downtown, when we lived in Harlem in the Bronx. We didn't need a permit back then. All we needed to do was have the long extension cord to plug up to the street, the street light, the street pole, and we'll just jam whenever we felt like it. And then we'll block the street off with the police barricades. And we didn't get in trouble for it. Everybody jumped in the middle of the street and dancing and partying, and then the DJs was the stars back then. And then, when we grew up in Harlem, dudes had started rapping. And then so the DJs was a star. You always be somebody that knew how to mix better than the other person. So whenever he come out, everybody want to run and see him. You know what I mean? So now, when in the winter, what we used to do, like let's say, we still in school back then. But once we out of school, everybody would throw in $2 a piece. And back then, we used to get these big brown bags of weed for $5. So everybody throw in. We might get 4 bags, and we'd go in the staircase. Now this is from kids 14 years old, 13 years old to the teenagers that's finished school and they working, and everybody will throw down, and we get the beers. Everybody just put in $2, and we get the beers and the weed and roll up, and then we too cold to be outside, so we be in the staircase in the projects, and then we pump it up, and then we'd do stuff like this. This was, I'm telling you, the history. We would do stuff like this, and mind you, there are no hip hop records out. There's no hip hop records out.
What you mean by that? Elaborate on that. What you mean no hip hop records? What you mean by there's no hip hop records out?
This was when hip hop, the birth of hip hop. So it wasn't as popular yet for people to start thinking about, let's let them put this on wax. You understand? It was only the poor kids doing this, and everybody wanted to see it. Kids, everybody, let's say from your lower 20s, or from your mid-20s to kids, everybody, we loved it. So, you know what I mean? So, it wasn't no records out then. It wasn't no... Remember, the white people was trying to knock hip-hop. The media was trying to knock it. Oh, it's just a fad, and this and that. It was trying to knock it. The same thing it did go down in history. Rock and roll music, that's created by black people. We created all different type of music. So when a Lucio was all the people that were singing them songs that had all that soul in it, the white people called it jungle music, but their kids loved it. The kids love rock and roll. The kids, you seen Jamie Foxx on, right?
Yeah.
The kids, the white kids, everybody loved it, and the white people was mad because the black people made it, created it. So it's the same thing in history. When hip hop came, it was the same exact thing. Now all that jungle music, the white people was against it. So all on the TV, on the news, they were saying, "Oh, they nothing but a fad," just trying to knock it. So because there's too much soul, it's too much. It makes you wiggle your butt too much and all that. They looked at it as provocative. You know what I mean? They didn't create it, so they went against it. Bottom line.
They was against it.
You know how they want to take credit for everything.
They wasn't for
it. You know what I'm saying, Cookie?
They wasn't for
it. So now this is the important part. We used to be on the staircase because it's too cold in the winter. You know how that go. So we'd be on the staircase. Now, it would be maybe 20-something people, from kids to almost adults. And we would say something like this, "Yo, okay, you know what we gonna do to kick in for the next cipher? We gonna let such and such do the beat on the wall." Because he always got them dudes that they nice playing drums, or they could just do with their hands and make the crazy beats. Yo, he gonna do a beat. And what we gonna do is, everybody gotta say a rhyme. I don't care if you don't know how to rhyme, you gonna say a rhyme. And if you mess up, you gotta kick in on it. Two more hours. So you got to kick in $4 on the next cipher. And he's like, no, you can't do that. We don't in, man. All right, then you ain't in it. You ain't gonna be in the next cipher. The cipher started with passing when you get nice with the blunts or whatever. 2 toasts and pass. In other words, you can't dog it out. You got to take two pulls and pass to the next man. That was where cipher came from. That's where the word cipher came from. You heard? You heard? That's where the word cipher came from. You know what I mean? But being that it started in the hip hop era, now when you see the awards on TV, yo, we gonna do a cipher, and that's when the rappers go around in the circle, go around or whatever. That's where it started from. It started from passing that weed, man, 2 and pass, man. We doing a cipher. So the dude that try to dog the weed, yo, man, get up out of here. Don't pass him the blunt no more. You always got somebody that's in the crew that want to dog out and smoke and suck up everything. You know what I mean? Nah, you ain't getting down no more. You know what I mean? So now when we do the beat, just think about it. You got people that they just heard people rhyming before. Yo, and you coming off the top of your head, yo, if you don't do it, then you ain't in this cipher. You don't get down on the next week, you got to get down. Either you get down or lay down. You know what I mean? You ain't with it no more. You ain't getting no more. All right, man. So now they doing a beat. It's like 20 people, and people just coming up, my name is this, and such as is that, and then, they you know what I mean? So now, then when they mess up, everybody, it's fun. Everybody laughing, it's funny. And then you thinking before your turn comes, you thinking of what to say, and you trying to remember it. Yo, that was the birth of hip hop, y'all. And then it will always be somebody or one or two people that it was none of them. They just say, "Oh, yo, you just made that up." Yo, I ain't even think of it. It just came out. And then we like, yo, son, you need to get down. And then that person, from us cheering and giving him or her their props like that make them be more serious with it. And then next thing you know, as time goes on, we're doing this every winter because we can't stand out in the street smoking and all that. It's freezing, so we're going to go on them staircases. You know what I mean? And it's an innocent thing.
Check this out. Who was the hardest rapper back then? Who was the hardest rappers? Who was the groups at that time? Who was out that time?
Okay, so when the group started forming, it depends on the era you talking about. See, I remember when it was a PDJ.
At the beginning.
In the beginning, it was a PDJ Jones. It was DJ Hollywood. It wasn't really groups back then. It was all about the DJ was the star. Starsky and Hutch, that's Love Bug. That's Love Bug, Starsky, and Hutch. Remember that funny kid, the Love Kid Hutch? I know you remember. The Love Kid Hutch, you did this such and such and all that. It was him and Starsky, him and Love Bug Starsky. And yeah, so then when they broke up, and then when they broke up, Love Bug went farther than Hutch. Hutch got down with Zulu Nation and all that. You know what I mean? But you know, it was the beginning group. I remember DJ Hollywood. It wasn't group really. It was a DJ. It was DJs that was the celebrities. That was the highlights. The DJs. DJ Hollywood. Starsky. Remember, Starsky was a DJ. You know, he used to say little things. You, the bug, and then Starsky, and I'm back again, and all that. You know, so they was the that's the first generation. Feel what I'm saying? I just said it. I just said their name.
How about this group? How about this group?
I want to say to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, thank you so much for doing this for us.
You know what I mean? How about this group now? How about this group, man? I'm gonna gotta hit you
in the head real
quick.
Offer that you can't refuse. We're giving a party and you got to come because you're the one.
Huh.
Okay, that's not the first generation, country.
I know it ain't the first generation. I'm just saying this. Well, wait a minute. First generation is Flash and them. How Flash and them can't be the Flash?
They're not. They're not, country. They're not. They're not the first generation. They're the second generation. And I remember going to Celebrity Club, Autobahn.
But I'm saying they was out with Cool Hank and all of them. They was out with Cool Hank with the.
Well, listen to me. Listen to me. They was the young boys. That was the second generation. They came out when the Treacherous 3 and all of them came out. Them was all the second generation.
Okay.
Busy B. Starsky.
Now, I know Busy B. Starsky and Love Bug, Starsky and them, but they I remember Busy B and Starsky.
Think about what I'm saying to you. Love Bug Starsky and Busy B. Starsky are two different people.
Right.
Love Bug was the first generation. And then they started getting played out. The new generation came in. That was Flash. That was
doing Willie Burger time. You're right, doing Willie Burger time.
Okay, so that's the second generation. You feel what I'm saying? That's when the groups came in and rap evolved. So that's when Flash came out. That's when Funky Four came out. That's when Busy B and all the groups and all that. That's the second
Coco,
generation.
You still there, right?
Yeah.
So this is what I'm telling you, country. That's the second generation. So now Love Bug was a gangster. Love Bug and them was hating on the new generation. So they would come and they would still be involved in the MC conventions and all that. And I remember when Love Bug used to just slap Busy B. Starsky in front of everybody. Love Bug was a gangster. Big light-skinned Love Bug was a gangster. And he was connected with Casanovas and all that. These niggas is, now you gotta remember one thing about it, with the gang, not to go out on them, they had a lot to do with it too, because all these dudes used to be black spades. And then the police started killing them on sight all around the 5 boroughs. So what happened was, they had to have meetings and they say, yo, listen, we switching this up and we just gonna name ourselves a crew and act like, so they took all the leaders of the black spades and came out with their own crews and changed and stopped wearing black spades on their levers and on their hats and on their koofies. And they came and they split it up. Bambaataa was one of the leaders of the black spades, and then he took and made up his own crew called Zulu Nation. Tiny was one of the leaders of the black spades, and he came up with Casanovas. And then the non-crew, it was all what they had to do was split up and throw the police off because they was killing black spades on sight. And they said, we can't win now. So we don't want to keep dying. So let's switch it to crews. And now they make it look like it's not a gang, it's a DJ crew. So now that's when they started coming out with the Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five and all that. And so they run behind them. They will be under their wing. So every time Flash threw a party, Casanovas was deep in there. Every time Bambaataa threw a party, Zulu Nations was deep in there. You understand what I'm saying? They did it for a reason. So this is the second generation of rap. Flash, Funky 4 plus one more. Theodore, Grand Wizard Theodore and the Fantastic Five. All that, the second generation, those are groups. First generation, it was all about the DJ. Then they evolved and everybody wanted to hear the rappers because the rappers started getting serious. So that's the second generation. And now they start doing their thing. Now, what's the third generation? The third generation is when LL and all these other niggas came out. Why? Because Sylvia that owned, it was only 2 rap labels. It was Uptown Record Label and it was
So you saying
Sugar Hill.
So you saying this guy right here is one of the guys right here?
Who that?
Gather around now, I'm about to kick flavor. All right,
Busy B. That's Busy B. That's the second generation. His generation came out with flashing them. And you gotta understand, he bit Starsky name. One thing back then about rap, we wasn't about biting each other's stuff. Don't bite nobody, rhymes, don't bite nobody,
they was
name
on
or
it
none of
then.
that.
It was on it then.
You heard? So Busy B bit, even though Busy B was a crowd pleaser, he was a beast. He didn't make no real hot records. He made that 6 Suicide, that joint, that's the only record he made. It wasn't no big hit. But Busy B, he did shows way better than he made records. Everybody didn't know how to make hit records. You understand what I'm saying?
So
and it's still
you know
like
about
that
this guy right here?
Well, hello everybody. How you been? It's Starsky, and I'm back again.
Starsky, that's Love Bug Starsky, yeah. That's Love Bug Starsky.
Right.
He was alright. But he had played out. Because you gotta understand. Let's think about this.
That's rap. It was beginning.
Think about this, country. And I bet you,
but I wouldn't say he played out. I would say that his era passed through and he didn't grow with it. You know, just like any rapper. If they don't grow with the era, he didn't grow. You know, he didn't change, you know, and they let the streets win him over. You know what I mean? Because he was good.
Now, think about it. When the first generation of rap, why it was like this, I don't know. But dudes sound like they had hemorrhoids. Let me see. Hello, pal. History. What is all that? It sounded like you got to take a shit. And listen to that. Love, it is back again. That's how the first generation was. But we liked it. But then it changed. Nobody want to hear that no more. Nobody want to hear that no more. So Busy B come out. He steals this dude. Think about it. Man name was the Love Bug Starsky. Love Bug Starsky. Busy B said Busy B Starsky.
Yeah.
A bee is a bug, and he took his name Starsky. And he took his barber, he took that to another level.
That's some history right there, y'all. History.
Doing that barber.
That's history right there. That's history. My man just told you how he got his name, man. And this is Love Bug Starsky. These are the hottest people during that era. And during this era, they was doing their thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they was like Jay-Z
and he used to have a fever on lock. He used to have a disco fever on lock.
Okay, that's what his record was. Starsky was the fever. He was the DJ there. You know what I mean? You can log on and check him out. You know what I'm saying? He was produced by Curtis Blow, you know, and all of them. He was with Russell Simmons, rocking with Russell Simmons and them. You know what I mean? So y'all need to get up on that. But my man is telling you it's history, man.
Yeah. Now, again, the second generation was Flash and all of them. They knocked the rest of them out the box. But the whole point is, if you don't change with the industry, then ain't nobody gonna want to hear you no more. So you just go down in history. That's all. You know what I mean? Now, what ended up happening was there was only 2 record labels. I remember the order that rap records came out. I remember the order it came out in. The first 5 rap records.
What was it? Hit me in the head with them.
The first one was now this is funny. The first rap record was made by a group that wasn't even a rap group. They was a R&B group. The Fatback Band. The Fatback Band made King Tim the Third. King Tim the Third.
I think Jocko was before him.
I don't even know who that is.
Jocko, where you been? Round up, barrel and back again.
I don't know. I think I might have heard that, but I'm talking about the ones that became a hit. The hit record was King Tim the Third, and they was from Lionel Hampton on 131st and 8th Avenue and Harlem. They made King Tim the Third, and it was a hit. And then the next record that came out, hip hop record that came out, was the Funky Four. That's the joint.
Let me. I'm going to put you on. So this is who Jocko is.
The boom tang tang real good. Eat it, y'all. This is Jocko back on the scene with the machine. Said, bam, check this bad jam. Holler mighty loud and clear.
Okay, that sounded all right.
And that was in 1979. You know, Jocko dropped that Rhythm Talk.
Okay,
I mean?
So now listen, here we go. That's the key right there. The first rap records came out in 78. That's the first ones came out in 78. They came out with King Tim the Third, Funky Four. Then the third rap record in the game was Spoonie G. Boom, 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 boom. Yes, y'all. I sit and see the fly little Lulu's go in the bed. Lulu's good in the bed. I go and push my luck and try to get a little leg. And if the girl is ugly and she look like a dog, I start running like a cow and leave her like all. I'm not conceited, baby. Please don't take me for a toy. Just remember me and Spoonie G, the baddest lover boy. The rhyme saying girl when you drink a lot of juice.
You said the Fatback Band, right?
Baby, I'm going to put it to you. Nah, that right there is Spoonie G. Spoonie G had the third rap record. Fatback Band had the first rap record, and they wasn't even a rap group. They was a singing group. And then they made the first rap record. Funky Four, that's the joint. That Funky Four was Sha Rock. She was the first girl MC.
Fat Band was the first. I think Fat Band was the first record. The first one that came out as a record. As
a record. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, as a record.
It's a record.
I'm talking about the way the rap records came out in 78. 78. All this happened in 78. Then I'm gonna tell you what happened. Flash came out. Look at this. Flash came out with Italian, Caucasian, Japanese, Spanish, Indian, Negro, Vietnamese, MCs, disc jockeys, so all the fly kids and the young ladies. Remember that?
Yeah.
All right, but what happened with Flash did was they put the trash beat on it. And it was trash. And everybody's like, yo, what the fuck you doing? Flash was the baddest group out back then. Now, they had the track record for being. So he pulled it back. Within that same week, he pulled it. Don't play this no more. And then he put the same lyrics, the same rhythm.
Judge Pigmeat Martin Poseidon.
Go ahead.
He came out with the same joint and put the different, he put, okay, I just had the name on my top of my head. He had the different music. Oh man. Hold on. That music, everybody know it.
What was it you said now?
I'm trying to think of the Flash he pulled that record back because he put garbage music on it. He put garbage music. The music was garbage. So everybody, yo, Flash, what are you doing? The ones that know him, what are you doing, man? That shit sound trash. So he pulled the record back within a few days. Told him don't play it on the radio no more. And then he changed the music. He changed the music and put the same lyrics, the same thing and put it back out, and it was a hit. It was a hit. So
have you ever heard of Pig Meat Markham? Pig Meat Markham, right? He was like one of the first people to put the rap, to put that form of rap where it was taken. I'm gonna hit you with that one time. Let you get a little taste of it. This is him. Here comes the judge.
It's just about ready to do that thing. I don't want no tears, I don't want no lies.
That sounds
well, all I don't want no alibis. This judge is hip, and that ain't all.
That's what I'm talking about. This guy. This guy is crazy.
Yo, that would sound funky, yo.
Listen, and I'm gonna go into it. Look.
Who's there? Eyes. Eyes who? Eyes your next door neighbor.
You know that's funny.
Judge, your honorship high.
And it's called Here Comes the Judge.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Right,
Here comes the judge.
Here comes the judge.
Everybody, yeah, I remember that.
Here comes the judge. Here comes the judge. This court is now in session.
Yeah, I remember that. That was hot. That was hot.
You know what I mean?
That was
I
hot.
like that little album.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta
just
so people
started
that don't know what it is. It's called Pigment, Markham. Here comes the judge. You gotta check that out. It's really old school, but you're gonna enjoy it. It's hot.
Where he from?
Yeah.
Huh? I think he's
Where
from.
he from?
Sir,
Did I hear you?
Probably from the Bronx.
Where's Pigment from?
Yo, but country, I just thought of it. His music was called, I think it was called 5 Minutes of Funk. It go boom, 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 boom. Remember that, country?
Yeah.
That's what Flash did. He pulled that record back because the music was trash and put the same lyrics on boom, 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 boom. Now that was the crazy hit when he dropped that. And then they dropped, I'm gonna tell you, and this is what they dropped the Good Times with what's their name? Sugar Hill Gang. And Sylvia, you can still hear me, right? Sylvia
5 Minutes of Funk was
a
Houdini,
black
right?
lady.
Did Houdini do a 5 Minutes of Funk? Houdini did.
Yeah, but that's years later. Now you gotta think about the eras that's going on. Houdini, all that Run DMC and all that stuff came out.
That was released in '84.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They came out after Sugar Hill got sued by Flash. People don't know the reason why rappers started making money is all because of what Flash did to Sylvia Robinson. Sylvia Robinson was a black lady that owned the biggest rap label, and she started taking these little kids on tour. And all these people were signing the Sugar Hill record label, and she was not paying them. All of these top rappers, all the top groups was making hit records every year, and they still was living with their moms. All of them. All of them. Flash and all of them. They made hit records. They was the biggest thing in rap. And they all was still living at their mom's house because Sugar Hill was owned by Sylvia Robinson's greedy black B-I-T-I-C. You know what I mean? B-I-T-C-H. She was robbing them little kids. See, when you sign a contract, I went and signed, me and Jeff Red, Kevin Stevenson, and all of us signed a record with oh my God. We signed a record deal, and we had a song, and one side was the music and the other side was the vocals and the music. And when it was Ray, remember Ray Goodman Brown? You must be a special lady and a very exciting girl. Remember Ray Goodman Brown? Yeah. So Ray, from Ray Goodman Brown, a big fat dude named Liddy and Heavy, what they did was when Flash, it was crazy, man. You gotta understand why dudes is getting paid. Flash found out from his uncle, his mother's brother. His mother's brother was living in Europe, and he's a lawyer. He found out that those records was making millions of dollars in other countries, And he found out, and he asked his sister, why is whatever Flash government name is, why is he still living in your house? And that man been making hit records for the last 4 years.
But that was going
Or
on with a
5
lot of
years,
people.
whatever.
That's been going on for years, though. You know, shoot, Bobby Brown, all
But
of them.
this is
This
what
shit was
Flash
still living
did.
with
That
their
shit,
family.
what Flash did changed it. Why you think 50 and all these niggas got rich? It's because of what Flash did.
You remember this? Do you
When
remember
Flash
this?
sued,
Yeah, I remember. You remember this?
Flash sued Sylvia Robinson,
You remember
and he
this?
put a lawsuit in
You
on
remember
her.
this?
You hear me, country?
Yeah, I hear you. You remember this, though? You know who that was?
Who that is?
You don't know who that is? Let me see.
Oh, okay, that's flashing them.
Yeah, it's like a jungle sometime. It keeps me going under.
Yeah, like a Joseph time. We wonder how I keep it going under. A child was born with no state of mind, blind to the ways of mankind. God smiling on you, but he's frowning too, because only God knows what you're going through. You was born in the ghetto, living second rate. Your eyes will sing a song of grief hate, places you play, where you stay, and look like one great big alleyway. You admire all the number book takers, slugs, pimps, and pushers in the big money rate. Drive a big car, spending 20s and 10s, and then you want to go up to be just like, yo.
Raw rap right there, raw rap, man. This is rap from back in the day, son. That's what I'm trying to say. Raw rap. We got my boy RonDike tucking it up. I don't know where I'm
going too hard. I'm going too hard.
Nah, you're going just right. That's how they gotta get it raw.
I remember all them joints, man. You was born in the ghetto. Listen, and then think about how far back those rhymes was made and listen to the content. Shit was real back then before LA and all that got in it. It was more real.
Listen to what Melly Mel said.
They're like a jungle time. Gotta keep them going under.
That's how it really was, man. Hip hop is hip hop, but it's still growing. Ain't changed. People always talking about it's over. Ain't nothing over. It's just it's gonna move and it's gonna change. Different people are gonna bring in different movements in this thing, man.
But and then it's a lot of politics that go with it too. Like the radio stations, the media is what basically make a decision on what's going to be played on the radio. So if your message is too deep, if your message is too deep for, bringing what do you call? If you bringing too much a message to uplift people, the media ain't gonna let you do it. They ain't gonna let you do it. They're not gonna play your music on the radio. You understand?
So what you say? They ain't gonna. If you saying something with some sense, and you got a little sense in your lyrics.
If you got something with some sense, and they scared, you're gonna start schooling them to why they in control and all that. They're gonna shut you down. They're gonna shut you down. Just like Tupac, his mother and father was convicted cop killers from the Black Panthers. So they looking at it like Tupac got so big. Suppose his mother and father start telling him how to use his platform. Suppose they start telling him to drop bombs on what it really is with these crackers and all that. So then it's a threat. So we got to shut Tupac down because they fear the Tupac. You got to understand, he's not the only one that had a big platform, but he's the seed of 2 Black Panther leaders. So suppose they get to him and tell him stop talking all that party and getting girls and all this and jealous motherfuckers and all that. Suppose he used that to start dropping some bombs that his mother and father know, being Black Panther leaders, being Black Panthers and all that. So we got to shut this down before this dude wake up, before they wake him up. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a lot of politics behind the death of him too. You understand? These motherfuckers run everything. And KRS-One, I remember Positively Black back in the days? I remember Chuck D from Public Enemy, Kumo D, and KRS-One was on it. And they said, yo, KRS-One said when he made his first album and he was talking about shooting and all that shit, South Bronx. Many people tell me this South is terrific. And when he ain't saying really nothing, but it's hot. It was okay. This shit was being played everywhere.
And that's how it was.
But soon as he
hip hop
dropped
was
it,
really like that. It was really like that. Hip hop was rocking and rolling.
And then soon as he dropped
but
the
listen,
next
we got to
album,
go on this because look, we've been rocking for a minute, and you're right about that. They was rocking, and that was it. But hip hop has grown so much, and hip hop has went to another level. Hip hop is doing their thing. Right now, people thinking hip hop was never gonna be dead. Hip hop is gonna grow, and it's the most. It's making the most money. It's making the most money. It's making the most money in the industry. You know what I mean? But on that note, you know what I'm saying? I need everybody to push the subscribe button, you know what I mean? And if you want to leave me something, you can go ahead and cash at me on that cash, lazone Inc. And you know what I mean? Push that subscribe button. It ain't gonna hurt you to do something. We have my guest up here. We have RonDike on here today. And we're gonna have another one. He's gonna tell you some real stories. You already know that he gets real dramatic into his stories, and we're gonna have him up here again. He's gonna be doing a story, tell you some stories of some things that went on and some real creepy and crazy stories that happens in the hood, man. You know what I mean? Some real stuff, man. Nothing about drug dealing, but about the streets. You know, some people don't understand that people been through some things out here, and he's gonna get it on. We got Coco somewhere out there, but she's there out there. You know, she's sitting there. I don't know where she's at. If she's in Bermuda or Bahamas somewhere. But we're gonna get ready to close this out on this note right here. We want y'all to hear this a little bit, and we're gonna bring you in with this.
The Sugar Hill Gang.
Hey, love is love, life is life, and this is what we do. You know, make your life mean something. Don't be here on the earth and your life don't mean nothing, man. You got to make sure every day that you do, you live it to the fullest meaning. You got to do something to make a difference every day in your own life. Because if you don't, you just taking up space. And love is love, life is life.